Reproductive health. Welcome to ARCA's Neet Biology. Now let us go into the further discussion of reproductive health. Coming to the last method and the best method if they were children to the couple is the surgical method. The termination or becoming sterile, or either it may be the male or female, no fertility further. So in male, the sterilization is called as vasectomy, where the vasa differentia is being cutted and they are being tied off. In the female, they are called as tubectomy, where the fallopian tube is being cutted or it may be tied off. Okay, and now this is the highly effective and the reversibility is very poor in these methods. Though there is a cutting off this vasa difference, there will be normal release of semen by the male. Only the semen is devoid of sperms. There will be normal ejaculation in the male. In the female, only the egg is absent. Rest of all, the menstruation is common because the uterus will be shredding off the endometrium. If there is a hysterectomy, that is surgical removal of uterus in case of any issue with the uterus, it is called as hysterectomy. At that time, there will be no menstruation in the female. Now, medical termination pregnancy (MTP) was also legalized by the government. If the couple are not willing to have the babies, then there will be induced abortion. So across the globe, approximately 45 to 50 million MTPs are being carried every year. And this is not the motto of decreasing the population, okay, but here this is being legalized due to emotional, ethical and religious and social issues. And this was being legalized in the year 1971, and there were also restrictions to check the illegal female foeticides. And MTP is used for unwanted pregnancy due to unprotected intercourse or failure of contraceptive, rapes of pregnancy which may fatal to the mother or the fetus. And this is best when it is practiced in the first trimester. It further cases, it may affect the health of the mother. And illegal practice of MTP should be stopped because it should be carried by a well-trained physician. And misuse of amniocentesis as well as MTP should be avoided. And now, creating education against the sexually transmitted diseases. The sexually transmitted diseases are either it may be the gonorrhea, syphilis, genital herpes, chlamydiasis, genital warts, trichomoniasis, hepatitis B and HIV. Out of all these sexually transmitted diseases, hepatitis B, herpes as well as HIV infections are not curable. There is no solution for that of severe diseases, but rest of the diseases can be completely cleared off. So here if you take gonorrhea is being caused by the organism Neisseria gonorrhoeae. Syphilis is being caused by Treponema palladium. Genital herpes is being caused by herpes simplex virus. Chlamydiasis is being caused by Chlamydia trichomatis. Genital warts are being caused by human papilloma virus. Trichomoniasis is being caused by Trichomonas vaginalis. Hepatitis B, it is hepatitis B virus. HIV is human immunodeficiency virus. And how diseases are being transmitted means either due to sexual contact with infected person, sharing of injectables, okay, practicing unsterilized surgical instruments, transfusion of blood, infected mother to the fetus. Except like this hepatitis B, genital herpes and HIV infections, rest of all the STDs can be completely curable. And now what are the symptoms of these STDs means initially in the male they develop itchy fluid discharge, slight pain swelling in the genital region. And the female always remain asymptomatic once when the symptoms are onset the complete pelvic girdle will be infected. Okay, now due to this pelvic inflammation it leads to abortions, stillbirth, premature baby delivery, ectopic pregnancy happening in the fallopian tube, infertility, or even cancer, cervical cancer in the reproductive tract. So how we can prevent this means avoiding sex with unknown partners, always using the barriers. In case of doubt, going to the doctor, getting complete medication and diagnosis of that particular disease. Now, if there is no child for the baby, then again they are being blamed in the society, and for this the couples are being striving hard to have a baby. And when there is a problem either with the mother or the father, then they will be going for the assisted technology for having the baby. And now the best method of infertility and control is IVF, in vitro fertilization and embryo transfer. Here the ova of the mother and the sperms are being taken and they are being fertilized in the laboratory. Later on, the blastocyst, either in the 8 cell stage or in the 32 cell stage, it may be introduced into the fallopian tube or into the uterus. Okay, if that is introduced into the fallopian tube, then that technique is called as ZIFT. That means introducing zygote or embryo with 8 cell stage into the fallopian tube. So it is called as zygote intra Fallopian tube transfer. Or at 32 cell stage, this embryo may be transferred into the uterus directly where it is undergoing implantation. And that technique is called as intrauterine transfer. And now the next technique is gamete intra Fallopian tube transfer. Here the gamete collected from the donor, that is the ova, is being collected where the mother is not capable of producing the ova, and that is being introduced into the fallopian tube, and this is being again treated with the sperms, and the fertilization happens in the fallopian tube, and that leads to the formation of an embryo. And that technique is called as gamete intra Fallopian tube transfer. The next one is intracytoplasmic sperm injection. Here into the egg cytoplasm, the sperm is directly injected with the help of a micropipette. Okay, so that technique is called as intracytoplasmic sperm injection. Artificial insemination is being given for with the person who is having oligospermia, having a less sperm count. Azoospermia means zero sperm count. Okay, in that case, this artificial insemination is being suggested. This semen may be collected from the father or from the donor, and they are being transferred into the reproductive tract to induce fertilization. So this is called as artificial insemination. Now, what are the drawbacks for these techniques means it is not possible with the female with damaged uterine wall. If the uterine wall is damaged, then they have to go with another technique called as surrogacy, taking the uterus of another mother. Okay, the embryo is being grown in the womb of another mother whose uterus is healthy. And it also required high precise and specialized skilled person to do this technology, and this also raised several ethical, emotional and religious and moral issues. Okay, rather than thriving for all these hard, it is better to adopt a baby rather than going into this many techniques.